Just want to talk for a minute or two about doing a restoration and some of the pitfalls and some of the preparation that you may, not to put you off, but just to give you some feel for what you might want to weigh up before you start doing a job like this, because trust me, once you've got it to pieces, you can't move it. It's stuck here. So once you're committed, you've got to go with it. You've got to go with it, and you've got to be 100% about the job. Otherwise, it's just going to become an abandoned restoration, and that's the worst case, because you're taking the car to pieces. No one's going to give you anywhere near its value if it's a box of bits, and I wouldn't advise buying an abandoned restoration, because unless it's a very rare car, you want to be sure it's all there before you proceed. Now, there have been some success stories with abandoned restorations, where someone has got a long way through the job, has done a reasonable job of it, which you can see that they've done a reasonable job of it, and then for whatever reason they have to abandon that restoration. Maybe they have to move house, or they had a bereavement, or their girlfriend's left them, I don't know. These are all reasons I've heard, particularly the girlfriend leaving somebody. The guy was doing the car for her, and it was gorgeous. It was an MGB, it was in black with red leather, it was stunning, and it was just needed final completion. A friend of mine bought it for a song. I just wish I'd been there before him. Anyway, some of the pitfalls that you may run into. Firstly, I've spoken about the amount of space that it requires. You need a fair bit of space. I don't think you can really achieve this in a single garage unless you've got somewhere to put all the stuff that comes off. Also, you're going to be a bit cramped. It's not impossible. People have done it in those sort of pram type tent things outside their houses. I've seen it done. You can do it outside, but in England it tends to be damp, cold, wet a lot of the time, and it does get in your way. So you want a decent premises to do it in. You need sufficient space to work on the car and sufficient space to store the parts that come off. Now that's crucial, because there's an awful lot of stuff comes off a car, and everything is going to need to be worked on, particularly if it's a barn find, which is a much overused term to add allure to otherwise a pretty poor state. It's a barn find. No, not really. It's just been in a lockup somewhere, and it's been completely abandoned, and now it's a pile of rubbish, and we're calling it a barn find to make it sound a bit nicer. Don't get taken in. Anyway, you've got your barn find, or you've got your car that you want to restore. Let's assume that it's restorable, that it's not a complete basket case, and you want to get on with it. You've got the space to do it. You've got the wherewithal. You've got the tools. You've got the determination and the enthusiasm to learn what you don't know. If you need to learn anything, you've got the money to do it. If money's what you need, some cars do need a lot of money because the parts are dear. Let's assume all of that is a given. There's one thing that a lot of people, I think, have overlooked, and that is your spouse, your partner, girlfriend, or boyfriend, or whatever. It's a long haul. Everything that's going to be taken off the car is going to need work. You're going to need to clean it and inspect it at the very least. Possibly de-rust, paint, replace parts, refurbish, plate it, replace rubber bits, whatever. Everything is going to need some attention. And as I've said in previous videos, as I've been taking the parts off the car, I've been cleaning and painting them, because I don't want a rusty shell and a big pile of knackered bits. So trying to keep it a bit more organised as we go. So organisation's also quite key. But partners, if your partner isn't on side with a job like this, because you're going to be in shed a lot, they're not going to see much of you, and if they're hostile to it anyway, you might as well not bother, because it's worse than having an enemy in your camp, unless you're so thick-skinned or don't care, or you're doing it to get away from them. I would advise, pay attention to that first, because you want it's going to be a hobby for you. You're going to want people to be enthusiastic for you when you tell them about what you've achieved, not looking at you with a long face and being as miserable as sin. So, not generalising, but quite often it's guys that do the restoration and women that can get a bit difficult about it, shall we say. So I'm just a tip to the wise guys. You know, if you're going to do this, you know, let's hope that your girlfriend is someone who's going to not only enjoy with you, but probably help you out a bit. That is your ideal. If you've got a girlfriend like that or a wife like that, then fair play to you. I speak from experience here. I didn't. Anyway, that's enough. My battery's going flat, so I'll do another video when I've got a bit more to show you on the restoration.